Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Scarlets Fever podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, are Carwyn and Catboy. How are we?
Very good.
Yeah, got to agree with that. Very good.
Nodding doesn't work on audio format, Carwyn.
We need to hear these things. We need to make sure
Yeah,
you're
no, but
alive.
yeah, very good. Enjoyed some European rugby over the weekend, despite obviously, no Welsh club, obviously a couple of Welsh players involved on Friday night, but no, yeah, good.
Good. So we'll dive straight into news for this week because the Scarlets have actually given us some news to talk about. We've had a new sign-in and a senior academy sign-in. So I'll start off with the senior academy boy because I watched this kid play a few times and he's quite exciting. So we have got a 6'6", 18 stone 5 lock by the name of Will Evans. And he's only 18, so chances are he's got a few more inches and maybe a couple more stone to go.
He is 6'6", is he?
Yeah,
because I was watching the clips that Scarlett's put out, and I was thinking he looks big compared to other under 18s, but it's really hard to judge because there's some under 18s is like still kids.
Yeah.
So
with the clips that the Scarlets have got, he was injured at the beginning of the year. So all of these clips with the wearing Scarlets are from last summer. So they're about just shy of a year out of date.
Oh, wow.
And obviously,
just need to wrap it up in cotton wool. As in, a boy that size in the engine room is what we're crying out for. As in, yeah, hopefully he can develop.
Honestly, now watching him for the Wales under 18s out in Parma, and obviously we've already spoken about this on the pod a couple of months ago when it was actually live. But two of the things that really take from Will's game is his carrying and his work rate. He hits everything that he can possibly see, and that's brilliant from a lock. That's what you want. You want him tackling everything, hitting rucks, and if they contribute to a bit of carrying in there as well, then you're golden. And that seems to be exactly what he's doing at this age range. So I'm very happy, very excited. And in all fairness, the three senior academy products that we've announced, we know we've got 10 or 11 signed up. They're all top quality. They all look to have really high ceilings. And anyone watching our age grade 18s of the last season,
not allowed to talk about it. It's bullying if we talk about it.
It's bullying if we talk about the other teams.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Now, anyone who's watching know that they're a special bunch, and quite a few of them have got really high ceilings. So it'll be interesting to watch them progress, especially with the SRC, the new Premiership, which we are fairly sure that these boys will be featuring in.
No, that's exactly what I was going to ask you now. Is the hope that some of these senior academy boys now will feature heavily in the SRC, and that we see if they're ready for the next step, I guess, then in rugby, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we already know that Ian Sparrow, our 18s captain, the first one of the contracts to be announced, he signed up with Llandovery. We knew that a couple of months ago, courtesy of their club Ammanford, but obviously they've had photos taken with him in Drovers colours now. So that's a good one to see. It's interesting to try and pick out where Jack Pritchard and Will Evans will end up. It'll just depend on the makeups of these squads. We still haven't had full confirmation of that. But if Berry and Watkins sticks with the Drovers, I'd imagine Pritchard will be with the Quins, and most possibly...
Quins are on the cards have a really good team next season. They seem to be getting the pick of our academy.
Well, if you look at it from just an overall squad point of view, Drovers, we know, have got the strongest squad that on paper. Even on the pitch, they've proved that over the last 18 months, 2 years. So whoever they're losing, and to get this balance right, I don't think they're going to need too many of the better players. They've got such a strong core of that squad. It's going to be hard to beat them, even if they lose 10, 15 players. Because everyone's going to be in that same boat. So we move on now to our senior squad signing. And
is he a senior squad signing? I thought he was a senior academy.
He's senior academy, but he'll go into the senior squad. You know what I mean? it's that type of player. Like under 23s will go on an academy contract. It's just the way it works. He'd be training with the senior squad, etc., etc. So, is it Nottingham? I'm getting that right. For some reason, I had Northampton in my head for some reason, but I know it's not them.
It'd be a hell of a deal if we were signing the Northampton's starting fullback. That would be, but no, we're not, sadly.
So we got Nottingham's 19 / maybe just turned 20 because a few stats have changed when I was looking at them earlier. Fullback Ellis Mee. We are pretty sure that he now stands at 6'4" and weighs in at 92 kilograms. I can't find any stats of him from the championship. Who you might be able to help there, but I can tell you.
Yeah, you struggle for championship stats. To be honest, I wouldn't read too much into it. Nottingham didn't do very well in the championship this season, so I would not read too much into it. To be honest, the highlights reel that they posted looks decent. Everyone's highlight reel looks decent. He's tall is my biggest takeaway from it.
So what I can tell you about him is he started 4 games in the Premiership Rugby Cup, all at fullback, and he scored 2 tries in them. So played against Saracens, Hartbury, Coventry in that competition, and another one that the name just eludes me. So, he's not coming in to be first choice, obviously. But how are we feeling about this sort of signing?
Look, we needed a fullback, definitely, and it is how it is. As soon as a young kid decides to play for the Scarlets, all the articles are just counting down the days till he gets picked to play for Wales. Look, yeah, I can't say that I know about the guy either. I hope he's amazing, and like I said, we needed a fullback, so fingers crossed. But it is purely fingers crossed at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at either Quins or Drovers, to be honest. Based on his age and based on his level of experience so far.
Carwyn, what about you, Ben?
Yeah, it does feel. Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. That it feels like he's a signing for the future, and I guess now's the time to sign for the future, because obviously with budget cuts ahead of us next year, it was going to be hard for us to attract a similar caliber player to what Leinster signed from New Zealand. But he looks exciting. Or La Rochelle, yeah, as we know, Mike Walker's favourite 2 teams. But no, to be fair, as you say, we needed a fullback. He's young, looks exciting. He's obviously Welsh qualified, which is another big tick in the plus column. But he needs a bit of time to adjust, and hopefully he hits the ground running at SRC, and then is ready to make the step up maybe Christmas, early next year, or maybe even a bit later, depending on injuries. I wouldn't chuck him in straight away, because what we can't afford to have now is players coming in low on confidence. We need players coming in who are buzzing and ready to go, just to lift the rest of the squad, because I'd imagine the majority of the squad will be feeling dejected at the end of this season after a tough slog. So hopefully new blood coming in is buzzing, ready to go, and we'll all be cheering for me in the stands.
Overall, I'm happy with this. We like to see signings like this. We like to go, okay, there's a young talent, let's pull him in, let's see what he can do. I can't help feel it's a bit of a reaction signing, because of obviously Jack Davis with the Drovers. He was, the next cab off the rank, and he's taken a bit of a bad leg break. But regardless, if that means we've got an extra fullback in our ranks now who could potentially play European, maybe even higher standard rugby, then all the better. But like you boys said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him with the Drovers Quins for at least part of the season. I don't see him in the top 5 3/4 that we got. So unless we're seeing injuries, I wouldn't expect to see him too soon. But yeah, nice, apparently big fullback. He looks a bit slender in his highlights reel, for me at least. But yeah, he showed a nice few handy skills. So again, hopefully the SRC gets some coverage. SPED Rec, maybe even Scrum 5 will pick something up, and we'll get to watch some of these players from all the regions, not just our own. So on to the main event, our last game of the season. Judgment Day, or it's not exactly Judgment Day, considering it's in Leckwith, not the centre of Cardiff. That's it. So we get to host the Dragons in Cardiff. And, we haven't exactly got the best history against the Dragons when it comes to these double-header fixtures.
Even on we'll come to it a bit, even when we won the league, we beat the Dragons on Judgment Day by like 5 points. Like, we just can't do this fixture for some reason.
No, and like even the reverse, Costello, I know he was still freshly back from injury. Any other game, any other time, he would have slotted that penalty, no problem. He would have probably backheeled it over if you asked him to. It's just something about the Dragons that I don't want to say bring us down to their level, but they take us down from our level.
Do you remember Cowdell said that after a Judgment Day game once? He came out after the game and was like, "Oh, I tell you what, Dragons are rubbish. I tell you what, they don't have drag you down to their level when you play against them." And he had to write a letter of apology to the Dragons because he just said that in the post-match press conference. Bless him, Cowdell. We love him, but he's not always the most switched on lad, is he?
He was a young man then, I want to say. Probably was 2 years ago. But there we go. So
I often think, though, that the Dragons are up for it more than us as well. We might drag down, but it always seems like they want that win more than us in Judgment Day.
Well, I think it's the same when they play the Ospreys at home. It's like, yeah, we've done these once or twice before. We know we can beat them. Even if they've got 15 internationals and we got 15 boys playing in the pub league. I'm not saying that's their squad at all. I'm just saying that's the sort of comparison. They still come in thinking they're going to do it. And, looking at this season, okay, we haven't had the best of seasons either, but if they can round it off with a win against us, they'll be fairly happy going into the summer.
They lost to Zebra away.
Well, look at the 4 regions results in Zebra. That's all I'm going to say about which team is the best. But no.
Yeah, I think it's a huge game for both sides. Whoever comes out with a win, it makes a poor season look slightly better. Obviously, if the Dragons win, God help us, they do the double over us.
Jesus Christ.
But if we win with a bonus point, we've ended a poor season with 2 bonus point wins, and that's the best way to go into pre-season. So as much as I think there's nothing riding on the game, layered beneath the surface, I think there's quite a bit resting on the game as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm really gutted about when it comes to this game is the fact that the Sharks put out a rather poor score against Cardiff. If they put their first out in that game, we could have been in a position to leapfrog Cardiff in the table. Mm-hmm. And, that would have ended things really nicely for all of us. So, onto the game itself. What are we expecting from our players? Let's talk about the team first. Do we anticipate any changes? Would you boys make any changes to the starting 15-23? Carwyn, let's start with you, Bert.
Yeah, well, first thing I'd be starting Costello. I think the way he came on and controlled things against Zebra in the last 20 minutes, I wouldn't hesitate in starting him, to be honest. I thought he was outstanding in his cameo and just seemed to control things better and just grounded us a bit and kick the points instead of just getting carried away because we were ahead. We need to win. Let's secure the win. And I think we could need that sort of wise attitude on Saturday, because traditionally they're tight games. They're not pretty, and we just need to win. But apart from that, I don't think I would change much. As in, I think everybody did enough against Zebra to earn another start. One thing I wouldn't do is get sentimental and give some of our departing players.
I think that's exactly what they are going to do, though.
Yeah, well,
I'll be shocked if Foxy doesn't play in this game.
Yeah, with nothing on it, as in, why wouldn't you? Isn't it? As in, yeah, you sort of probably expect Foxy to be involved. Will Combier be involved? Dan Jones maybe. I think you've got to, obviously those players, they've been good servants and they've stayed with us probably longer than maybe they should have for their own personal careers. But rugby's a business, it's driven by results. And I'm a very sentimental person, I may add, but there's no space for sentiment in sport. Um, I'd rather not give them a loving farewell at the Cardiff City Stadium and that we get 5 points on the table. That would look much better than giving Foxy a 5-minute run out against a 20-minute run out against the Dragons, personally. But yeah, so to get off this fence I'm sitting on, I would definitely bring Costello back in from the start. Other than that, I wouldn't change too much, but I don't necessarily think Peel may agree with me when he listens back.
I go with that. I pretty much agree. I think it was interesting to know. Do we know if Fafita's in with the shout of being fit?
No, we're not sure about Lousy or Fafita.
So if
Would you
Fafita,
drop though?
no, I think if Fafita's fit, I'd put him on the bench. The Dragons will wilt in the final 20. So if you bring in the likes of Fafita and Johan Lloyd off the bench, I think that could really cause some damage against the Dragons. I'm not sure what to do about the starting front row. I think just as a general point, I agree with Carwin of same team, just Costello in. But Dragons scrum can be solid. Coleman is very hot and cold. He can have terrible games. He can have good games. Dragons line out is actually very good. Like I've been doing the stats for the Welsh regions every weekend. Dragons line out confusingly is like probably the best in Wales on their own ball. Obviously, we're the best on our position ball. So I think just play the game, not the occasion. I think in the past we've definitely been guilty of a bit of hubris going into the game, and that's what's led to very disjointed performances. It's just heads switched on, get your head in the game and just do our thing. Because I do think we've got a better team than the Dragons, but we've got a better team than a lot of teams that we've played this season and still lost. So yeah, I completely agree with Carwin. Basically, is bring Sam back in for 10 at 10. I wouldn't be necessarily against Foxy wearing the 23 jumper. So, but that would mean you'd have to go 5-3 splits, which I think is wrong for us. But there you go.
Yeah, well, I'm 100% with both of you. The starting 15 remains the same, except for Costello coming in for Lloyd. If Lousy and Fafita are both fit, I would want to see them both on the bench. I've spoken plenty of times over the last few months about having Morgan Jones partner in either Craig or Lousy to start the game and having one of them come on, which if it goes ahead, it'd be great to see, because I think that's the way we should be moving, just because of the stability they give the scrum together. In terms of the front row, I can't see it much changing, just because of the work rate that Hardy O'Connor and Kemsy Mathias have shown in the last few games. It seems to have gone up a level, so I can't see Peel changing anything with that. At least I hope he doesn't. But yeah, 6-2 is all we got to say. I actually be tempted to. Well, I'm not tempted. I will put Archie Hughes in as my 9 cover and have Johan Lloyd in the 23 shirt. I mean, before our final 3 points against Zebra, Hardy just standing over the ball for 5 seconds. It's like, that's one thing I'm definitely not going to miss. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but pick up the ball, crab sideways for a second or two if there's no support with you. Just do something. Don't stand there.
Kieran, pick up the fucking ball.
So that's how team's sorted. Brave time now, boys. What are your predictions? Who we'll start with you. I want both scores, not just a
I'll tell you
margin.
why it's an extra big game. Because I am planning on going. I haven't bought my ticket yet,
No
but
way.
something tells me that I think I'm not going to struggle to get a ticket. Um,
No.
I have never seen the Scarlets lose.
That's one reason you might want to avoid this game. But yeah, if you go, well, make sure you post your ticket. Obviously, not the intimate details. We know what people are like. Post your ticket and make sure we know you're going so we can put the money down. That's all I want
I'll
to
be
know.
filming a vlog. If I go, I'll be filming a vlog. So
Oh,
you'll be able to see it all.
yeah, you like your
Oh,
match
come
day
on.
vlogs, don't you?
Come on. I do, yeah, it's good fun. Come on, Scarlets. Jesus Christ, don't lose this. God, do you wonder what kit we're going to wear? Because it's red versus yellow, which probably means in somewhere in the URC books that's a color clash. So they're going to have to.
Green.
We'll both be wearing grey. Why am I so undecided on this? Scarlets by 7.
No, I didn't say margin. I want scores. I want actual
Okay.
scores.
Right, 27-20 to the Scarlets.
Ooh. Carwin?
I actually think we're going to do a bit better than that. 34-26. I think both teams might get a bonus point try because neither side has been able to defend much this year, and have leaked tries left, right, and centre. But yeah, I don't think it'll be tight for the first 20, maybe first half an hour. Then I think we'll control from there and just always be the necessary 2 scores ahead.
I'm going to go for the biggest of the lot, Len. I'm going to go for 36-16, but we're going in at halftime like 17-16 up, and then we're going to just nil them in the second half. It's going to be tight for that first half, bouncing back and forth, but we'll take them to the cleaners in the second. So that's, modern day rugby in the present times. And after this game, there's a little thing called a Wales tour. So a match in Twickenham away to South Africa, and then a 2-test tour in Australia. Is there anyone, either of you, are thinking that will go for the first time, or any shocks? Carwin, let's have your take on this.
I think, yeah, I think he's going to take quite a young squad, as in mainly because he has to, and secondly because he's got nothing to lose by taking a few chances. As in, I think Eddie James gets on the plane.
Yeah.
I think he's a Gatland-esque type of 12. And yeah, I think he's probably my surprise package from the Scarlets point of view. Unfortunately for anybody in the back row, I think we're so stacked there. There's no newcomers going to be coming from there. Second row, does the injuries we've had open the door for Morgan Jones?
Yes.
So
that's the one I was waiting for.
I've been doing some. Me and Harley are doing a stats podcast on Thursday, is the plan. And I've been looking at the stats. You would be shocked how good Morgan Jones's stats are.
Yeah.
Not many people would, no one would say off the top of their head who should play second row for Wales. But you think about it, Rowlands isn't going to be available. Beard is injured. Jenkins isn't available.
Teddy Williams, I think, isn't it?
Teddy Williams isn't available. So they are scratching around for second
yet.
rows. Now, I don't expect Morgan Jones to be picked, but if you go just purely off stats, which I don't recommend anybody does, but if you do, and you compare him to his peers, Morgan Jones's stats are as good in any department.
Yeah, I mean, he was one that I was waiting to be named. I was hoping one of you would do it, and thank God you did. I can definitely see him being involved in the squad for South Africa. Whether or not he makes the match day 23 is another question. I don't think he goes to Australia. I really don't, unless he really shows something, in those couple of weeks training for South Africa. But yeah, if he's not even involved in the training squad, then there's something wrong there. He's more than done enough, and I was disappointed with him a bit last season. I expected him to have pushed on a bit more, but that seems to have come over the last 2-3 months. And once you do that, you need a reward for it. And when you've got something like 6, 7, 8 locks unavailable, when there's only 8 starting locks in Wales at any given time, obviously barring abroad players, it's going to be a massive hit if he doesn't get selected just for the South Africa training squad. So we've had Eddie James. Is there anyone else we think could be in with an outside chance?
Tommy Lewis.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah.
Good boy. Yeah, Tommy, he ticks a lot of things Gatlin likes as well. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. And again, it took Peel till March to listen to the podcast to find out Tommy Lewis is actually a rugby player. But yeah, he's a good one. I posted this, and I'm not advocating for it, nor do I think he's ready. But looking at Gatlin's first stint here, and where he's capped players like Tom Priddy, Christian Phillips, without any real exposure to the pro game. Looking at the physique on Max Page, and just his out-and-out pace, I wouldn't be surprised to see him involved. Like I said, I don't think he's ready. I don't think he should go. But basing off Gatlin's history, if he's looking for players like that to take, Max Page has got to be right up the top.
Who was the kid who went to Japan in 2013? Was it like David Howells or something?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
So these they, like you say, Mark, they do have a record of picking wingers, but like early.
Really?
Yeah, but they had some regional rugby experience, didn't they? I think.
I don't think Priddy did at all. I think he was like 17 years old and something.
He was the youngest. Who was that other rapper kid? Was it Robson or something?
Christian Phillips was another one. I'm trying to think of them all.
I just think at the moment, unfortunately for Max Page, there's probably enough unexposed pace at international level playing in the regional game. Just sort of thinking, well, Tommy Lewis, probably Tom Rogers. I know he's played for Wales, but he's probably be in the mix. That's just from us, as in there's a few of the wingers playing well enough to be on that plane at other regions at the moment. I think it might be a step too far. And I think also the opposition, when you sort of think, as in with no disrespect to Japan, but going on a tour to Japan is...
we did lose one game.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. but thinking South Africa, then Australia twice. And is it the Reds we play then in just a...
Yeah, we played the Reds after as well. It's not even like a midweek, it's like a week after.
It is the full week.
Yeah, it's just a jolly, isn't it? I just think it's probably maybe a step too far for Max Page at the moment, but he's certainly one to watch. As in, if he gets game time early next season, then it would not surprise me if he's involved in the autumn or next Six Nations. I just think this tour might come 6 months too soon for him.
I can tell you one thing, though.
Thanks.
People will not be happy with how many Scarlets are going to be in this Wales squad. There will be more than people think there should be. We will have maybe the second most. And
one thing people will not be happy about is Scarlet started in one match, get dropped for another, get replaced by another Scarlet.
Yes.
On a lot, the Scarlet gets dropped and replaced. Oh, it's another Scarlet outside half. It's an endless loop. We seem to produce players in twos, in pairs. We'll have two scrum halves. We'll have two. Flipping it round, any chance that Cowdell doesn't get picked? For me, I wouldn't have been picking Cowdell for the Six Nations. I mean, I'm the type of person that yes, there's a 4-year cycle, but at the same time, you've got to win every match you have. And quite simply, if you've got a 34-year-old scrum half who isn't exactly your out-and-out starter by a country mile, then it's time to say, ta-ra. We had Thomas Williams, who on his day, but I have to reiterate that, on his day, because he has many off days, is the first choice in Wales. So for me...
Isn't he out for the summer?
No, they think he might be back. News today was that they think he will be back for the summer.
Okay, because I had Gareth Davies in my original squad, no Kieran Hardy.
We always say that about Hardy, though. We always say that he's not done that much for us to get a place, but he's just entrenched.
No, it's the traditional Gatland book. It is so difficult to get in his good books, but it's even harder to get up to them. But when you're looking at Kieran Hardy, he came back from Jersey Reds. He had a storming 2.5, 3 seasons with us. And since he's had regular training time with Wales, I don't know what's happened to him when he wears Scarlet. Is he not the right shade of red for him anymore? Well, it won't be in a few months' time.
Well, he's joining a team not to be first choice, so as in I don't think
he'll be clear first choice there.
Yeah,
he's clear first choice there.
He won't. Not the way young Morgan Williams has played. I think Hardy's going to struggle to start.
No.
Even
if Morgan Williams is playing better than him, Hardy will be first on that team sheet. It's as simple as
why sign him? Why sign a current Welsh international scrum half to be second choice? Yeah. Is my thinking.
That's the same with me. I know loads of people, they go, "Oh, we don't need him. Morgan Williams is better." You don't sign a player on that money to bench. When you're working off 4.5 million, you don't sign someone who's 6 figures to go on the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a stupid business plan. But I would say but it's your sprays, but we know Lance Bradley's in now, and he doesn't seem like he's top or nothing like that. So, that's good enough for him. So, is there anyone else we can think? Harry O'Connor, he picked up his first proper cap.
Yeah.
Might go depending on who else is available. Someone who's not a Scarlet yet, but could possibly be a Scarlet at tight head, Henry Thomas. Do we think that he's going to be back involved?
Not for the Springbok game, because I think it will still be.
That's outside international.
It's outside international window.
Yeah.
By the way, just on the Springbok team, like there's a lot of chat in South Africa about who's actually going to be in that team. It's basically going to be the Sharks, and like.
Well, to be fair, the Sharks of the Community Shield run, that's a good outing. And if that means, is it Masuka at 10?
It's Masuka.
Bloody well deserved.
He's a bloody good player. I'll tell you what, I was watching the Sharks do that to Gloucester. I was thinking, oh, we did all right against these, really. Yeah.
But you said the same thing after watching them against Clermont. It's amazing when you face a team and then you see that exact same 15-23 a few weeks later down the line and actually do a job on someone that was a hell of a lot stronger than you anticipated.
Well, I hope the Lions get a few players in. I love the Lions. They're such a fun team.
Shatuka
anyway,
should make it.
Shatuka is he's getting signed by the Sharks next season.
Well, going with his brother.
Sharks have already got one Shatuka and they're getting another one. Emmanuel Shatuka is unreal.
They are the pair of them. Like last year, it was like, what is it? I think it's Vincent is the one that went first off. He was outstanding last year, and now Emmanuel does the exact same thing and ends up buggering off. It must be hell being a Lions fan. Basically being a development team. I wouldn't like to do
Speaking of events of the weekend, Lions lost 3 Super Rugby finals in a row.
No.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But there we go. They're not there anymore. So
what was the original question? Talking about Wales, probably.
Henry Thomas. Obviously, we've had some rumors about him coming to us. Does he make the squad after? Obviously, we think he's cup tied for the South Africa fixture. Well, he really should be because it's still part of the season. Does he make the Wales squad, especially if they announce that he's signing for the Scarlets
if he's announced that he's come in to us, then yeah, he'll make the Wales squad. It's one of those classic. I want to play for Wales. I best move to the Scarlets type signings. We had plenty of those over the last 5 years. Look, he'll get plenty of game time for us. He'll probably be good. I don't think he's another Will Griff-John, but look, I'm not going to be horrible. I hope he signs. I hope he does sign for us, and I hope that he does very well.
Yeah. In terms of Henry Thomas, he is an older player. Yes, he's a prop, so they tend to have a couple extra years on top of them. Usually, signing a player for a year or 2 years as a stopgap, I'm really against. But when we look at our stock at tight head, we've got Harry O'Connor and Sam Wainwright, who are both URC plus level. So having someone like Henry Thomas come in, who has done it at the top end of European rugby, in France.
Plays week in, week out in the top 14. You don't get to do that if you're a shit tight head.
Exactly. And I think bringing in someone like that, even if he's only going to start, 10, 12 games over the season, just having him in that 23, guiding, especially Harry Thomas, because he is the younger of the pair and he's the one that seems to have the bigger ceiling. I think that would be invaluable, even if it's just for the season. 2 seasons, would be gravy. Happy days.
Yeah, what I will say is, if we do sign him, I don't want to hear any of this Scarlets weak pack talk next season. Because if we're going to have Alec Hepburn, Ryan Elias, Henry Thomas, like Lousy, Fafita, Craig, Moggs, one of them, and then Plumtree, Carwyn, Dan Davis, Jared Taylor, whoever it is, there is absolutely zero wrong with that pack. So if we're getting flattened next season and we're getting destroyed up front, it's not because of the personnel.
No. I mean, people have been, shouting, we need to strengthen our locks. We need to strengthen the boiler house. Our locks are fine. I know we are in the market for a couple more, as in Jack Dunn and Max Douglas. But, Craig, Lousy, Moggs, Jack Price, Fafita and Plumtree in emergency, that's a good stable. That should be enough to see you through a season easily, if not a couple. But, we are in the market for a couple of second rows. I don't think either of them will improve us, which is, unfortunate. Jack Dunn hasn't exactly set the world alight, in Ireland where he started or down in Exeter. Handy player, does his job, etc., etc. But if we're signing players, especially NWQs, we got to be signing them to be first choice. Otherwise, why waste an NWQ spot on someone who, A, isn't going to be starting week in, week out, or 2, isn't going to be able to contribute a hell of a lot of experience to our younger players. And I don't see either of that with Douglas or Dan.
So thoughts, Carwyn? Anything?
Yeah, no, I think just to agree with you really. I think anybody we sign now has to improve the current match day 23, and in Hepburn and Henry Thomas, we've done that in the front row. It's hard as well, though, isn't it? Because on paper, when you look through our team, there's not many you'd say he shouldn't be there. He's not good enough. As in, it's just a case that this year, for whatever reason, it hasn't clicked. It hasn't worked. Next year, if they click, we could have another fantastic season like we sort of saw 2017. And okay, I don't think we'll win the league because I think the gap between the top 3 or 4 to the rest of the league is probably too big to close in a season. But if we can get it right in team selection and in style we want to play, then I think we could certainly be a force to be worried about playing. And yes, I think we need a few old heads in there, just experienced bodies, just in terms of galvanizing leadership team in the squad. But if you were to ask me to name a player to replace somebody, I'm not obviously I say that saying if Bowden Barrett came knocking on the door, I'm not going to say no. But at the same time, I know he's not going to be knocking on the door. But yeah, it's a tough one because sometimes you look at a team and you think he's not good enough, he's not good enough, he's not good enough. Not necessarily seeing that at the moment. Yeah, I'm optimistic for next year. I know that's not the question. You asked me for thoughts on Henry Thomas off into a massive tangent, but yeah, I think nail down the team selection, nail down how we want to play the game, and we'll be winning more than we lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. We need to get a 33-man essentially match day training squad. Obviously, we need more to do carry out after training, but it's going to be you 33. You are our boys who are going to be going into that match day 23, and it probably even go even further. Probably saying maybe 28. We'll probably say you are the guys that are going to be playing. You are there as first choice backup. But yeah, I think there's one signing that we're all waiting on, which will tell us exactly what we're going to be like next season. And that is whatever the job title is called, but our head of rugby operations or performance director. I think that's the big one. That's the one that's
culture
going to tell us.
cultivator.
Yeah, essentially. That's the one that we're all waiting on. They say the Scarlets have said they're going to scour the earth for it. I don't know how much belief I have in that statement. I hope it's 100% true.
There's a lot of regions that said that they've scoured the earth to find coaches in the last few seasons, and it always ends up with like either Dave from down the road or some Australian bloke you've never heard of.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Gats, do you have a friend who needs a job? It seems to be that type of thing. Oh, see, that's never happened to my knowledge. Just putting that out there. It was just a joke. In case anyone wants to put that anywhere, I need to get that in as a backup. But yeah, that's the one signing I'm really interested in. But until we get a notice, I'm really unsure. Like coming off the back of last season, I would have said we had a squad capable of reaching the top 8. Not easily, but probably with a game.
Well,
to spare.
If you think about it, there should always be a Welsh team in the top 8. Because of the way that the URC is structured, because you just have to beat the other Welsh teams, and then that's 3 you're on top of already. Zebra you're on top of, and then like Connacht and the Lions all have to play the really hard teams twice a season, so that's another 2 you should be above. So then you're really only competing with like Edinburgh, and then if you get someone like Sharks who shit the bed, you're really just competing like you beat Edinburgh away and you're in. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think we've seen this season is no Welsh side has really been truly better than the others. I know Ospreys are obviously higher in the table, but if you look at the Welsh Shield, they have still, they've lost the game, which is fundamental. You do not do. If you're top Welsh side, you need to be winning these 6 games and really propelling yourself up a table. But that is what it is, and we'll move on to next season, especially after 5 o'clock Sunday. I think we're finished by that time. We can turn off the TV, not be bothered by what else happens. So it is the 27th of May 2024. For anyone who's listening, I understand that's not the date for you, but it's the date for us. So today is the 7th anniversary of the Scarlets being the reigning Pro12 champions, and no one else will ever get to say that.
Unchallenged.
Unchallenged. No one even bothered turning up to the park to say we won that title. They were too afraid. And I'm going to stick by that for the rest of my life. So Hugh has decided in honor of this anniversary, we're going to have a little quiz. For anyone who is not watching via video, YouTube, etc., he just flashed a little notepad. So this is Hugh's special notepad with special things written down. I hope there's not special things drawn down. That'd be weird. So take it away.
So I think how I'm going to work this is I'm going to ask you a question in turn, because I did think about doing buzzers, but then I thought over Zoom might give someone an unfair advantage with their Wi-Fi. And Mark, we know what you're like with your connection. I think it's just best I ask.
Gonna be me.
I think it's just best I ask you questions in turn. So 12 questions, Pro 12, 12 questions.
12.
Pro questions.
Can't we make a 13th just for a tiebreaker?
Well, if there's in the event of a tiebreaker, I will think of something.
You will think of something.
Right.
What colour was her wearing on that day? That's the tiebreaker.
I'm hopefully going to have a bit of a show and tell for the next pod as well. Teaser next week. So here it is, the Scarlets 7th anniversary being reigning Pro 12 champions of the world quiz.
Of the world.
Question 1, Carwin, I'm going to go for because you're there. So it's a hard question. I'm going to be upfront with you. So this first question is a hard question. And just to be clear, if anybody gets a question wrong, it passes to the other person to answer it. So to end the season, 2016-2017 season, Scarlets won 11 games in a row. What was the last defeat of the 2016-17 season in the league?
As in, who was it against? Or
yeah, who was the last team to beat us in the league? No, Mark, that's not how it works.
Cardiff.
No.
My turn?
Yes.
Dragons.
No.
Damn!
It was Ospreys on Boxing Day. Our last league defeat of the season was Boxing Day, as far as I can tell.
You mentioned about us losing to the Dragons in that season. I thought it was an earlier hint.
No, we beat them, only just.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm not listening to you, as always.
All right, okay. Mark, who is our top try scorer of that season?
Oh, so 2016, 2017, so McNichol didn't come in till the November. I got to say Steph Evans.
Correct. Steph Evans was our top try scorer. Bonus point for how many?
12.
No. What are you going, Cohen?
14?
No. In the league, 11.
Overall?
Don't know overall, only in the league.
Do I get half a point for being closest?
No. Okay. Cohen, top point scorer in the league.
Patchell?
Patchell is correct, yes. When we're thinking, can we make lots of noises so that the audio listeners are are engaged? Okay. All right, Mart. Total tries that we scored in the league.
Total tries that we scored in the league. So it's Pro 12, so it's 22 games. Oh my God.
Are you including the playoffs or not?
I'm going off the Wikipedia page. I assume it only counts the regular season and not the playoffs.
One sec.
No. Don't cheat, you bastard.
Okay, so 22 games. So I'll go for 71.
Incorrect. Carwin?
I think it's going to be higher than that. I'd put it about 84.
No. 66.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Felt like we were scoring tries.
We really only came good at the very end of the season.
Oh, I literally just added myself, okay, 22 games, okay, 3 tries a game, that'd be 66. Did we score more? I think we scored more than that.
We actually didn't. We came good right at the in the second half of the season. We won 17 games and 11 of them were right at the end.
Well, we lost the first 4, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well.
So we actually scored the fewest tries of anyone in the top half of the table. Total. Wow. We actually conceded the second fewest, which isn't a question. We conceded 40. The best was Munster, conceded 34. We scored 66 tries.
And they conceded 6 against us?
Hang on. So Munster conceded 34 in 24 games. They conceded 28.
No, in 22 games.
Oh, it doesn't include the playoffs then.
Doesn't include the playoffs, no. I don't think so anyway.
It doesn't think so.
Ospreys scored more tries than us. They scored 74, we scored 66. Put that in the trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Who did I ask that question? Did I ask you that question, Mark?
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are keeping score now, I know.
Yeah.
Oof.
You're on 1 point each.
I was scared
Yes.
then. Oh,
Carwin.
no, I take the lead.
Total points that we scored.
Okay. Jesus.
Right, okay. 513.
No, but I tell you what, I'm gonna get who gets closest to this because I think it's a bit unreasonable to get it spot on. So 513. Mark, what are you going?
If it's close, that's 514.
Oh, right, I'm sorry. I'm only gonna give you half a point.
You shouldn't be giving stuff out like that, but I will always look for the win.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Carwin. I've done
I
you
think that's
over
a bit
that.
unfair. So was it 514?
No, it was 537.
Oh,
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
think
go.
either was close enough.
You would have been close enough. I would have gone for 560.
He's got Mark went for Price is Right rules, and he's done you there. I'm sorry. I've only given him half
So
a point.
we scored a lot of penalties and conversions.
We did, yeah.
Because if you think about it, we scored
330.
330 in tries.
We only got 9 try bonus points according to this, and got 0 losing bonus points.
You know, because we scored 66 tries, which is 330, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we scored 207 points in conversions and penalties.
Exactly. Right. Next question. Finishing position. Mark, where did we finish in the league?
Oh, crap. I've forgotten third.
Third, correct. Carwin.
How many points do we What position do we finish in the league?
Right,
They shafted the questions.
All right, okay, calm down.
It's the reason he picked you first.
Right. Carwin. Steph Evans got red carded in the semi-final against Leinster.
He did.
What did he get red carded for?
Ah, I know.
Tackle in the air.
No. Matt?
High tackle.
No.
Damn!
It was a tip tackle.
Tip tackle. I knew it was something to do with the head.
So what? Because he got it rescinded, remember? So
Yeah.
I think it was I think it was either him or Samson Lee tackled someone, and the other one got in the way, and he ended up dropping him on his head.
I mean, I'm
But it got
technically
rescinded.
right. He
No.
got banned for head contact.
No, it wasn't a high tackle. It was a tip tackle.
It was head involved. That's what I went for.
Right. No one gets that.
I could have sworn it was a crossfield kick, and he'd taken. Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest. I was thinking that first off, and I was like, "Oh crap, it weren't."
Well, maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. If I am wrong, people can write in and tell me. Right. What was the next question? Okay, Martin. The Scarlets in their victory against Leinster down to 14 men was a historic first ever semi-final away victory in the Pro 12 or whatever the league was called history. Who was the second team ever to win an away semi-final?
Munster.
Nope. Carwin?
I think it was Glasgow.
No.
Oh, that was my second choice.
It was us again.
That's no.
We the following year we went
in
all the way
Glasgow.
semi-final as well, up in Glasgow.
Oh, you did say against two. Oh, I missed the question.
I'll give Carwin half a point.
No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
Oh, it's too honest.
I don't think that's the right wording of the question, because only one team had won at that point. You know, only one team had won away. You know, there was no second team. It was just the Scarlets.
I've got no issues with the question, so I think it's a very good question.
He's trying to get him swapped over.
Here we go. Right. We're on to the actual final itself now.
Okay.
So it's Carwin's turn, isn't it?
It is, yes.
All right, Carwin, name the try scorers on the day. I'll tell you how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 try scorers. Name them.
For Scarlets, for us.
Yes, and you get a bonus point if you do it in order.
Steph Evans.
Okay, you haven't done it in order, but he is correct.
Liam Williams.
Yep. Yep. Come on. There's 2 out of 6.
DTH Van der Merwe.
Correct. Very good.
That's half of them.
Yep. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the option to bank as well, and you can pass over to Martin.
Foxy.
No. Right. Passes over to Martin now. So, Carwyn, you got 3.
So he went Steph, Sanjay, and DTH.
Yep.
So Cubby scored the last one.
Oh,
Yep.
I did, yeah. Went for the wrong brother.
Burn scored that lovely spin around and just go through everyone in the last 5 meters.
Yeah.
And Tag Burn.
Tag Burn.
Oh, right, yeah.
And shit. I know it was a scrum half, I just don't know which one. Was it Johnny? No. I was got to be Cowdo. Go for Cowdo.
It was Cowdo, yes.
Yeah.
Right, 3s each. This is exciting. Who sends in that? Right, Mark, stick with you. Who kicks the final conversion of the game?
Who kicked the final conversion? This is a good one. Do we all know? Does everybody know? He kicked a couple penalties in the semi-final as well. Good Sanjay, Liam Williams stepping up to the plate.
Correct. He's kicked a couple of goals in Japan this season as well.
I think he kicked more than that conversion as well. Did he kick a couple of penalties as well in that game?
Yeah, I think he kicked a couple of conversions and a couple of penalties in that game. I know
because when we took Patch off, we didn't have a 10 on the pitch.
Yeah,
we played without a 10.
On the bench, did we? Yeah, no.
But did we? Because we had Hadley Parks, who later played at 10.
But I swear he got subbed as well.
Experiment, wasn't it? Yeah, that was the experiment.
So hang on.
Parks was on the bench, wasn't he? Because we
started.
started.
Parks was on the bench.
Scott and Foxy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, fair enough then. Okay. Where am I now?
Well, I'm on like 12 points, I think.
I'm on 14.
Right. Cowan, is it your turn?
It is my turn, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it is. My bad.
Wales, Scarlets, and British and Irish Lions legend Ken Owens was Scarlets captain this season, but he was injured on the day. Who captained Scarlets on the day in the final?
One of our most famous adopted brothers from wee bonny Scotland, John Barclay.
Correct. Right. I'm just going to do some adding up to see. One question left. So I'm just going to do some adding up. Right. So Mark's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half.
It's the half that's changed it.
The half could be all crucial. Carwyn, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, I believe.
No. Oh, yeah, 6. Sorry, you got the John Barclay one, didn't you? No,
Yeah.
hang on a minute. Please hold call. Lee, you might need to edit this bit out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I thought I was on 6.
5. No, you're on 5.
Batchel. Barclay, the 3 try scorers.
Yeah. So nobody caught question 1, which was the Ospreys. And Mark got top try scorer, which is Steph. You got top point scorer, which is Patch.
Yeah.
Mark got closest to tries, I think, or nobody got tries.
Nobody got tries.
Point scores. That was me.
All right, okay, so Mark, you've only got 6.
Oh yeah, nobody got tries, but somebody got points.
Yeah, Mark got points, and then Mark got finishing position.
But surely somebody should have got tries as well then.
I would have. I was 5
off. I didn't run that rule. I didn't do that rule on that one.
It's either for both questions, for neither question.
No, it's not.
Then I get an extra half a point. We both went over, and I was closest. So I don't know who's out even more bad.
Nobody got the tip tackle. Nobody got the tip tackle question. Okay, right. Look, okay. Mark is on 6.5. Carmen's on 5.
Oh yeah, that's it. There's 1.5 between us. Sorry, I thought you said there were 2.5 between us. That's what confused me.
Okay, so this is the decider, right? So this is I'm going to give you 3 points for whoever gets this. So this is a game of...
What? No.
This is a game of who gets the end first. So it's naming the first 15 who started the game. Got to name all 15 players, 1 to 15 in order. And by the way, there's definitely one which we're going to get stuck on. So Mark, you're in the lead, so you get to go first.
Okay.
Just to be clear, whoever gets to the end first, whoever names the 15th player wins. Okay? So if Mark gets 14 in a row and then gets the 15th one wrong and Carwin names the 15th one, Carwin's won. So, Mark. 15 players started for the Scarlets in the grand final against Munster in the Aviva Stadium. In your own time, go on.
Rob Evans.
Yep.
Ryan Elias.
Yep.
Samson Lee.
Yep.
The one you think we're going to get stuck on.
Yep.
Lewis Rollins.
Correct.
Tag Byrne.
Yep.
Mr. Aaron Shingler.
Yeah. You haven't got this written
Nope.
down.
I mean, I wrote it down earlier, but I haven't got it up in front of me.
Why did you write it down earlier?
Expecting this question.
I wanted to have a look.
Right.
I remembered. I got Cubby. Then we had Barkley.
Yeah.
Cowdo Patch.
Yeah.
Who played six?
Shingler.
Shingler.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. Just testing.
So Cowdo Patch, Steph, Scott, Foxy, Sanjay, McNichol.
Yeah. To be fair, you can't argue with that, Carl, when he's done you there. He's got them all. Would you have got that? Would you have got Lewis Rawlins?
Yes, because funny enough, I looked at the team today, anticipating a question.
We both done the same thing.
I even remembered how many different nationalities we had playing that day.
All right, go on. All right, let's hear just for the fun of it. Let's hear it.
So the match day 23, we had Wales, Ireland, Scotland, South Africa, and Canada.
Yeah.
They were the
how many did you say there?
5.
Say them again.
Wales, Ireland, Scotland.
Yeah. Wales, Ireland, Scotland.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. You're missing Australia and New Zealand.
No, but they didn't play for Australia and New Zealand. They played for Wales.
But it's at the time.
They hadn't played for Wales yet at the time.
But they weren't they never played internationally for those either. So unattached to a nation.
I'll give it to you. Did David Bullring play for the Springboks?
No.
He hasn't played for anybody, has he?
So he's not South African. He's unattached. You needed to say unattached.
Well,
it's all descended into chaos over here, ladies and gentlemen. Who can name the substitutions? Carwin, you ever got a name in the subs?
What, in order or just...
Just go for it.
Parks.
Yeah.
Van der Merwe. Kruger.
Yeah.
Bullring.
Yeah.
Oh, man fach, I just had a blank.
Replacement hooker.
Sorry?
Replacement hooker.
I just had a massive blank.
Is there a time limit on this?
Oh, just come in. As in, you've won the quiz. It's irrelevant.
So Emir Phillips was the hooker. Loosehead, I believe, was Win.
Yeah.
And Hula leaves us. Scrum half, Johnny Evans. And it's a boy. Well, he's a brilliant boy. He went to Cardiff and then he got fobbed off. You know, I love Will Boyd with all my heart. He should still be playing.
Yeah, that was the bench as well.
Showing some love for Wyn Jones recently on social media.
Who got man of the match?
Jings.
Yes, correct.
He's outstanding, yeah.
I did
try at the end to seal there.
I did a video about Jameson Gibson Park on Pirate, and Jameson Gibson Park.
Leinster were going to win.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's absolutely bombed horrendously. I'm assuming that for his try against Leinster, hands Jameson Gibson Park off. So I put that in. I put that in the video about 3 times. Just things scoring that.
On Gibson Park against anybody else, he'd have looked outstanding on Saturday. against DuPont, he looked average. I thought Gibson Park did. Sorry, I know that's changed the subject from the Scarlets, but I thought he did very well. Just DuPont's
Jameson
different
Gibson
level.
Park's stats are good. DuPont's stats are stupid. They make no sense. It's ridiculous. Like, he is so far clear of any other player.
In absolutely everything. He's unreal. So there was one thing I know who wanted to bring up about that end of 2017 season. The game we played in the last round of the league. Who can remember that game? One of my favourite tries the Scarlets have ever scored from this game.
It was the home dismantling of our nearest and dearest from across the bridge.
Point for who? What was the score?
44-20.
Point for who? I didn't say Carwyn jump in, did I? Jesus, man. No, my favourite try of the Scarlets is that I think it was either the second or the third one of that day. It was Steph Evans. We had a scrum in our own half. Cowdor just run straight off the back, broke the line.
Cowdor tried to do that against Ulster, I think. They tried to run that move against Ulster.
Yeah, it looked like. Yeah, but what they did against Ulster, it was a pop back inside instead of outside, which is what this move was. It was 2 passes out to Steph and a nice first phase try from our own half against Ospreys.
Yeah,
I love that try.
I just remember Cowdor just picking up, getting the ball off the back of the scrum off Barkley and just burning and just going past everybody. Fox was amazing in this game, by the way. John Fox was one of his best Scarlets games.
One of the things I like remembering about this season is the fact that we came third. We beat 4th, 2nd, and 1st in our final 3 games. There is no disputing who were the winners of that league. You have some times where, like, you got Munster, who came from nowhere last season to win it all. You're not disputing the Scarlets didn't deserve that. They beat the 3 best teams around them. It is what it is. Do we have any more to contribute?
Well, just that Scarlets team went on to make up the stars of the Lions team that season. John Fox getting player of the tour. Sanjay obviously looked phenomenal from fullback in that same game. So the greatest try the Lions have ever scored, finished by Sean O'Brien. John Fox got 2 touches in that try, and Sanjay made the line break to make it happen. And John Fox was asked after the game, is that the best try you've ever been a part of? And John Fox said, you obviously haven't been watching the Scarlets.
You got to love him. He is a proper Scarlet through and through. I'm gutted to see him go. I really am. I know he's not at the same heights as he was early in his career, but what a stalwart. I mean, Foxy, for me, he's partially responsible for Joe Roberts as well. So his legacy will continue on. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see him go into coaching as well. It's an interesting one to see where he ends up.
Do a Will Genia, go to America, sit on the beach and just play rugby. I think
Peter Claders with Rob Evans for a year.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. But he's got all his events here, so he'll have to keep flying back and forth, and I might do his head in a bit. But that's a story for another day. On to the Dragons for a nice, comfortable victory on the weekend coming. It was great chatting with you boys again. Looking forward to reviewing a lovely win against the Dragons next week. Thanks for coming. See you all again, boys.
Cheers.
Guys.